Our service department is very much set up like a 9/11 call center. We actually went to downtown Chicago to the 9/11 Emergency Disaster Center, monitored some stuff off of them, went to some of our larger vendors, monitored things that they do, and came up with our own system. So we have a 9/11 call type of basis that he can identify you as a customer. He can tell you how far each and every tech that's qualified to work on your machine is away from you in minutes or hours or miles. Once he decides who the tech is, it's all automated at that point to get a tech scheduled for you. The tech, he'll explain to you the support stuff. And this is what really counts. This is, great. Sales guy told you it was a great machine. You bought the machine, everything's going fine, and then you have a problem. That's where a real company steps into play. That's what you're really buying, that support. And what you'll see here is there's 2 service managers on staff, full-time. There's an assistant service manager, and there's 3 senior techs that are for phone support. Wow. Then there's 47 other field techs. There's 3 techs in training at all time. And that gives you the support and the safety. It's the best insurance you could possibly have. Because no matter who makes a machine, someday it's going to break, it's going to fail. A component's going to fail. When it does, how much downtime does that mean for you? How fast you get back up? And how well were you supported? That's going to be what you really paid for when you bought that machine. It also is what drives your residual value of your press. Because people know if you have an M&R press and it goes up for sale, if you've noticed, they don't last long on the marketplace because they know they can get support. They know that the product, there's parts availability, and they just do not last long on the websites.
We average about 3,500 service calls, and those are actual physical calls into locations for either print training, installations, or repairs. We use this monitor, this display, for dispatching purposes. What it provides us with is a visual representation of where all our technicians are on any given day or for a specific week. And the reason we use that is we have certain areas of the country where we may not frequent that often, and it's a good opportunity for us to visually see where everybody's at on any given moment. So we may have a guy who calls in, let's say from Denver, and we happen to have somebody there that week. Us knowing that that's not a typical trip for us, another scheduler can actually look at the board and say, wait a minute, I do have somebody in Denver that week. So we can take the opportunity and go ahead and try to couple those calls together. And this is based on a worldwide map, so we have all our local service technicians displayed as well as our international techs displayed. We actually keep track of telephone calls, so I have my individual agents on the board, and we can see how many calls they've taken in a week, how many calls they've taken in a month, or for the year. So we keep track of those efficiencies to make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. Right here in the right-hand side of the screen, you can see how many service calls we've scheduled this week, for the month, or for the year. What we do with our technicians is we provide skill sets. So we have approximately 50 technicians stateside, and as they come along in their training process, we categorize their skill set with the types of equipment they can work on. So a computer system takes all that into account and selects the most appropriate tech. Or I can select one based on distance. Now, once I click this little box here, technician will receive instantly via his smartphone or his laptop all the service pertinent information. So all the travel information, equipment information, based on the serial number level, all prior service history, all parts history for that given customer. So this is done every time we schedule a call. The same information is sent out to the tune of 3,500 times a year. And Service Central is the main portal for all our technician level resources, and it's available only to M&R technicians. So this is where they go to get schematics, electrical diagrams, mechanical diagrams, parts histories for the customer. You know, part of the process when installing a piece of equipment is making sure that the registration is adequate. Before we leave, we must see the machine print. Well, when you're dealing with a new shop, sometimes customers don't have their art files ready, so we provide the tech with a little file that we can go ahead and burn an image and set up a test screen to verify that everything's in register. So that's a very important part of any installation. So if a technician visits your shop, he has access to all our manuals. So he can go into the system here, pick out a manual, something, let's say we'll take a look at an Nakoma flash, for example. And as you can see here, every version is available. And this is something that he can provide you via a USB stick. It can be emailed to you. You can print it out and keep it on file. We can also open the catalog, and you have little call-outs or little tags, and you can actually get pricing. So a tech can actually create an order from this location for you. You can input parts into the system that you may need, and we can get an order going on site for your equipment. So, many times customers will call in, schedule a service call. They've ordered parts. We want to make sure that the parts arrived. We want to make sure that the appropriate parts have been ordered. So what we can do here is we can look at your entire parts history, and the technician can go into the system and verify that the correct part's been ordered and whether or not that part's arrived. And we can see everything that this customer's ordered. I can pick, at random, I'll pick something here. And if the part has a picture, we can verify. And we also have tracking information. And you can see in this instance, this has been delivered. So this is crucial for a technician to be able to know if the right part's been ordered and for him to schedule his time at your facility. We also have multimedia information that we store. And these are machine-specific pictures. So these are pictures of that specific serial number. And this, once again, it works both ways. If the technician wants to bring attention to something, he can take pictures on his end. That information gets uploaded into the serial number, and it pretty much stays there forever. So in the future, if another technician goes on a service call, he can always look at that information. We can also do video. In this case, this is that specific piece of equipment. We have video of it in production. PLC programs. A lot of our equipment, both the operator interface and the PLC, have programs, executable programs within the actual component. That information, if for whatever reason a battery's not replaced, something happens with the program, it's available to the technician with a click of a button. Schematics as well. Newest version is always the first version available to you. And you have access to schematics for your press or any piece of equipment that's at your facility. In this case, this is an input-output chart. And tech can print it out, provide you with a copy of it, or use it for his repair. Now, the last thing I'd like to show you is our knowledge base. What we've done is we've taken technical data sheets, sheets created by the technicians to expedite certain repairs. We've amassed all that information and populated it into what we call service search. So it's a searchable database for technical information, okay? Exclusively for our technicians. I'll pick a Moser cylinder, which is a type of cylinder we use on older gauntlets and certain Challengers. And here you have a repair guide for this specific cylinder. So this is crucial information when you haven't potentially done this repair in quite some time. It breaks down the whole procedure on how to repair the cylinder, needed tools, or if there's random searches you want to do, you want to, let's say, look for alarm codes. You just enter the word alarms and various alarm documents. I can then specifically pull, if I'm interested in working on this Mitsubishi amplifier, I can pull out that specific document and it'll give me all the information, alarm codes. And this is direct from Mitsubishi. This isn't available to the public. This is only available to the M&R technicians.
This is the structural stuff behind. It allows you to, if you're serviced by our service technicians, we have a history of your product. When your press goes on the used market, residual value is much higher because we have the history of your machine, how often it was serviced, what kind of condition it was in when the tech was there, what lubricants were used, what problems we saw, recommendations, etc. is all on file. So this actually helps you to keep the value of your press up for when it's time to change up to a bigger, better product.